Hello, and you're very welcome to another edition of the Slip Cordon. It's a great week. We're looking forward to cricket at last. We're here to preview the LHW Financial Planning Leinster Senior League Cup. It's fantastic. I'm joined by Adam Chester of Phoenix, Adrian Harper of Balbriggan, and Tom Stanton from Merrion. Lads, you're very welcome to the show.
Thanks, Peter. Pleasure to be here.
Thanks for having us.
So I suppose Balbriggan being my local club is where I am. I think that's the easiest place to start. Adrian, you must be delighted to be getting back playing and getting any cricket in at all this season.
Yeah, I said from the start, Peter, that I wasn't overly concerned whether I got playing myself, but once the kids got some cricket, and very important that the kids did get back playing, and for the adults to play as well as a bonus. But for me, I look after the kids, so you know yourself, if we didn't play this year, there would have been a big dropout in the numbers playing. So for them to get 6 or 8 weeks, they'll probably get a full season with kids games, 2 or 3 games a week. So to be able to play the adults games and still get a full season of kids games, it was a lot better than maybe what we were looking at 2 or 3 months ago. So at least we have some sort of cricket that we can all enjoy.
Yeah, we're all looking forward to getting started. And Adam, you were mentioning there, you know, it's been a long wait, being a teacher and kind of waiting for the season to get started and not really sure. You must be delighted yourself to be getting out there and getting games under your belt.
Yeah, no, the lads are really keen to get back in. I suppose kind of waiting since kind of March, seeing what was going to happen, kind of being in limbo there for a while and stuff. But no, the lads are really looking forward to, even if it is going to be a shortened season, T20 and stuff, we can really get behind that and have a bit of crack over the 6 or 8 weeks or whatever it is. But no, we're really looking forward to it. Starting on Saturday.
Excellent stuff. And Tom, for yourself with Merrion, you know, as a young fella taking over the captaincy, was it always the plan to take over the captaincy this season, or has that been something that's been influenced by the shortened season?
No, I was always due to take over the captaincy. I was voted in at our AGM in October, so all of this happening it hasn't really changed much on that side of things, but obviously it's changed the way that we've approached the season, the way we're getting ready to go. Having such a long pre-season, so to speak, has been very different to the normal seasons that we've had. But yeah, to reiterate what Adam and Adrian said, we're all raring to go in Merrion, and we just can't wait to get playing and get back to some competitive cricket.
And you mentioned there about the kind of long pre-season and that. Have you had any opportunity to just get a hit out at all last weekend before the start of competitive action?
Yeah, we got to have an internal squad match on Saturday, which went very well. It was great to get to see some of the guys that I haven't seen in a little while, with the restricted numbers that we could have a training. And then on Sunday we got to have a friendly against Pembroke as well, which was great to get to play against another team and kind of get back into some kind of normality and get to experience the differences that COVID have and how it's going to impact the way we play our matches.
Yeah, they're going to impact a lot of things, and the return to play protocols and things like that. Adam, I saw kind of online and that you had a few games at the weekend. How did you find the new restrictions and the new rules that have been put in place? Yeah,
so we had a few games over the weekend. On Saturday we played Clontarf and then Terranure in the afternoon, and then on Sunday Cork Harlequins came up with kind of mixed our first and second team squad. It was different. I suppose kind of we were kind of just getting into it on Saturday and kind of the different kind of logistics and rules and kind of stuff around COVID. And then Sunday we tried to implement it a bit more with a view to the league cricket starting this week. But no, it's definitely going to be different. Just things like passing the ball back around the field and stuff, kind of returns, and even kind of batters converging in the middle, kind of between overs and stuff. So it's going to be different. Saturday was a bit of a trial process. But no, Sunday it looks a bit sharper, but it's going to be a learning process from everyone kind of on the go and stuff. But no, definitely a different feel to it anyway.
Yeah, there's certainly a different feel to it. And Adrian, for yourself, you know, we're trying to deal with the kids on one hand, and then trying to get the rules in place for yourself as well. How difficult has that been to kind of prepare mentally, I suppose, for what's coming up?
Yeah, it's been hard, Peter, because some people kind of can get lax with the rules, and like if you're one of the guys behind the scenes who's maybe a COVID officer or something in the club, you have to kind of make sure everyone is following the rules. And you know, like it just takes one person with the Man of War Gaelic club this week having an outbreak, or there's someone with it in the club. So one person having it could ruin the whole thing for everybody for a couple of weeks. So I think from looking after a point of view, just making sure everybody's doing their best to stick to the guidelines and just follow what we've been told to follow. You know, it's nobody really wants to be in this position, but if we all kind of play ball, we should be able to continue on and not have any issues. You know.
Excellent. And on the field then for this season, so Nathan is returning as captain. You've lost a couple of players to Clontarf and that, but how's the squad shaping up ahead of the season opener?
Yeah, kind of like we're looking good in terms of in the nets and stuff. Lads are doing well. We've got a couple of lads who moved to Ireland and in from South Africa, so it kind of helps when you get one or two good players who do come into the country. We've got a couple of good young lads coming through. We're going to give them an opportunity. So for them, it's a great year. There's no pressure. There's no promotion or relegation. So, you know yourself, with 2020, it just takes one or two lads to have a good day and all of a sudden the game is turned totally differently. So kind of it's an opportunity for some lads and then the more experienced lads to help the younger guys coming through in to play well and just enjoy themselves on the pitch and make the most of the opportunity with no pressure on them this year.
Yeah, it's really going to be a chance for some young players to step forward and looking to yourselves at Merrion, Tom. You know, you don't have Ollie Newton or any pros really this season across the league. What sort of squad are you guys bringing into the season?
Peter, our squad has kind of not changed a huge amount. Obviously, not having Ollie is a bit of a loss because he added so much, not only on the pitch but also off the pitch. It's really great for young guys to have somebody like that who's a professional cricketer themselves, so they can tap into that knowledge and see what a professional cricketer does and how they go about their business. But yeah, as I said, there's not much of a change in our squad. Ollie is unfortunately not playing with us. Patrick Tice has just gotten married. He's unfortunately not around as well. But apart from that, we've pretty much the same in terms of the people we've held on to. And then we've had Michael Cowdery just join us. He's over from the UK, living in Killiney. So he's going to play with us this year. I think that, yeah, that's most of the stuff on our side. But yeah, I think one of the big things for me is being able to continue with a similar squad and get to work with the youth guys again and continue to progress them further. I think it's very important, especially given the shortness of our season this year, that we get to use these matches as an opportunity to see what those guys can do and kind of throw them into the deep end.
That's it. Like it really is an opportunity for the youth. And Adam, like with your own club with Phoenix, there's plenty of talent coming through, and you've added a couple of kind of interesting names with the mix. So you must fancy your chances with a strong enough squad this season.
Yeah, we've got quite a young squad, which is great. It's got a good young feel to it. And so Aaron Cawley's joined us from Cork, and he settled in really well. And he kind of fits the profile of our squad really well as well. Joe Carroll joined us from the Hills, and then just in the last couple of weeks, Jamie Grafty has joined us from North County. So they all really fit the bill. They fit the squad profile really well. And then we've retained pretty much everyone else. Ben White's back, and then all the young lads, James Venus, Louis, and his son Ed MC. So we've got a really good squad there. And Jeremy Lawler, his name probably unfamiliar to you, joined us from Wales. Through the time with Glamorgan over in Wales on the county scene. He's coming over to live in Ireland. So no, we're really happy with our squad and how it's shaping up for the season.
How important is it to get a good start now when the league kicks off on the League Cup kicks off on Saturday? You know, you really have to hit the ground running with such a shortened season. Wouldn't that be right, Adam, yourselves, to go back to yourself?
Yeah. Like T20 is all the momentum really. It's like, as I think it was Adrian was saying there, it just takes a couple of guys to have a good day and all of a sudden you're on a bit of a run. And so that's what we've kind of been focusing on, starting really strongly. And T20, you can get into a bit of a rut if you lose a few games, but like on the contrary, if you win a few games, it can really set you up well. And we've got some tough games up to start. We've got Pembroke and Merrion in our first 3 games. So we're really looking forward to them, but definitely it's key to get off to a good start in T20 as that momentum can bring you right to the end of the season in such a short space of time as well.
Merrion, Tom, you know, is similar. You obviously are targeting to a good start and get a bit of momentum behind your team.
Absolutely, yeah. The start of the season with a 6-match season of round robins it's a crucial time. If you slip up early, that could be the end of your season in terms of getting to play in knockout matches after or later on in the year. So I think starting well is very important. Obviously, every game is important when there's only 6 of them. So yeah, starting and finishing then later on when you get to those last couple of games when the pressure's on, that'll be really crucial as well.
And of course, Adrian, Balbriggan starting with the match away to North County, the big trip. That's one to really get excited about and get everyone involved from the very start.
Yeah, it's great, Peter, having the local games as well. So kind of adds a bit. I know it might be different for people watching, and in terms of if people are going to come out and watch the games and where they're going to have to stand and sit down and stuff. But it's great to have the local games, and the local rivalry is great. It does add a little bit of spice to it that you want to beat your local rivals, you know.
Plenty of connections and plenty of links across the 2 clubs and all the other clubs across North Fingal as well.
Definitely, yeah.
Is there anyone maybe of the young lads coming through that we might not have heard of yet that you could draw attention to that we'll keep an eye on throughout this season?
Yeah, well, last season I suppose was a bit of a breakthrough season for some very young guys like Theo Dempsey and Louis McDonough. And Stephen Black is also a really talented cricketer. He's captain of our second 11. He did a bit of time over in England last year. And so he'd be probably one to look out for, as well as James McGuinness. Probably those 2 guys didn't break through as probably predominantly as Theo and Louis did last season, but we're looking for big seasons for those guys this season. And Aaron Colley, even though he's coming up from court, in the short stuff that we've seen from him so far, he's got a bit extra pace, and he's had people jump around in the net and the practice games on the weekend. So we're really looking forward to seeing him get into action over these next 6 to 8 weeks.
Excellent. And for yourself, Tom, is there anyone that you'd like to draw attention to, or are we going to be looking at those familiar faces and names, chalking up the records and chalking up the scores?
You can always expect to see the likes of John Anderson and Dom Joyce performing week in, week out, and I hope this year will be no different. John's been probably the best club cricketer in Ireland for a good few years now. But in terms of the young guys that we have, I suppose the players under 20 in our squads, we have my younger brother Sean, who's played quite a few years now with our first team and is really starting to show a bit more responsibility that he wants to take on. Jamie McNulty is probably a name that not many people would know at this point. He's put on quite a few yards of pace over the winter, and his time with the Irish Academy has really helped him. So I'm really looking forward to seeing what he can do on the pitch with us. And then probably the next 2 that I'm keeping my eye on myself on here are the 2 Forkin brothers, Daniel and Peter. So Peter's played a bit of first team cricket, took a 5-for last year on debut, which was really impressive. And then Daniel is a couple of years younger, so he will hopefully get his chance this year to show off what he can do with his left arm spin.
Very good. Well, Peter lost the ability to go under the radar with taking that 5-for last year, I think. So his cover is blown on his way through. Adrian, for yourself, is there anyone that we should keep an eye out for coming up through the ranks there?
It's great hearing Tom talking about the young lads, and it's a great opportunity because in most clubs, the overseas pro, and we've been lucky that a pro for the last 4 or 5 years has always delivered, and we've kind of got big runs off them. So it's up to other people now to chip in. We've a couple of good young lads. Owen Birch, really good. He made his debut last year as a 14-year-old, and he done really well, took a few wickets. He's also a very capable batter. 2020 will be that bit harder for him because we're going to probably be playing teams where we'll need to put big runs on the board. But in terms of bowling, you can expect to see him featuring in the wickets column. We've got another guy, early 20s, Abdul Sattar. He was really good for us. He came in last year from Leinster. And 2020 is his game. He looks really good in the nets, hits a big ball. So on his day, he can be fairly disruptive. One more guy the lads won't know of, Andrew Darroch. He moved to Ireland in January. And we helped him find work. He's living in Balbriggan. So it wasn't a great start from coming in, and he'd 4 or 5 months of work and then no sport. So he's itching to get going, and he looks really good in the nets with bad handball. So we don't know how the season's going to go, but the lads will have good opportunity to go out and perform, So we're looking forward to seeing them play.
Excellent. And what's he bowl, Adrian?
Andrew's a medium pacer and middle order batsman. So he's looked really good with bad handball. So we're hopeful that he'll have a good season.
Excellent. Well, we've had Tomas Rooney Murphy from the Hills on to give us a little preview as well of his own club. Well, we obviously have the other clubs that we haven't had a chance to speak to their captains. Is there anyone that you're keeping an eye on that you think might be a bit of competition and a bit of a dark horse for the season? Maybe I'll start with you, Tom. Is there anyone that's a bit of competitive spirit that you want to keep an eye on this year?
To be honest, Peter, I think the standard in Leinster is very high. That's probably been shown by the winners of the Irish Cup in the last few years. The majority of them have been from Leinster, with the exception of Warringstown, of course. So for me, every match that we play, we have to make sure that we're very competitive. Every team on their day can beat anyone as well. So it's kind of a case of making sure that you take each game as it comes, and you treat every opposition you play with respect, and make sure that you know how capable they are just as much as your own team are. But I'd say if I had to pick clubs that we play against and we always enjoy playing against and playing competitive matches with, it's probably the local matches, the local derbies against the likes of Pembroke, YM, Leinster. They usually get the guys geared up. I know myself that I'm hoping to get the chance for our team to kind of get a bit of revenge on Pembroke this year. We obviously played our friendly against them last weekend, and we've always had a good competitive spirit between the two sides. So I'm looking forward to getting to play against them again this year.
Excellent. And yourself, Adam, anyone that you've had a look at their recruitment or their squads over the winter?
Yeah, well, we're not going to, as Tom said there, the standard's very high, and we're not going to take anything for granted. But in terms of our side, I suppose Merrion will be strong. We play Pembroke in the second week, and obviously with the Irish squad going over to England, they'll be fairly depleted, which is a bit of a shame. But as well, like Russia are very capable on our side of Stephen Doherty and Neil Rock and Nathan Maguire get going. So Rush potentially on their day out there as well, they could take on anyone on our side. But I suppose Merrion would be one that we'll be looking at now in our group as a big game. And those guys, Merrion, great squad, and always thereabouts. So we're really looking forward to that one.
Excellent. And finally, Adrian, anyone that you can put a note in their dressing room that to wind them up?
When you look at every team, Peter, like almost everybody is a really competitive side. Irish internationals in a lot of the teams. I think with the Irish internationals away, if their clubs don't pick up the results early, they could be out of it early. So it could be dependent on the few fixtures at the start of how teams go on to progress to the semi-finals and final. But when you look at the standard of teams that are there, YMCA, Phoenix, you've got Merrion, Rush, they're all really good sides. And on their day, it's going to come down to the one or two lads that stand up and score the big runs that can swing games either way, So there will be shocks along the way, but I think the first few games are key for teams to maybe get ahead of the guys with the Irish boys away.
Three of you there, you're not giving any ammunition for any club there to pin up in their dressing room before a game. Listen, I really appreciate you joining us on the Slip Cordon here, guys. We're all delighted and really excited to get going on Saturday, and I'll see you over the weeks at various grounds across Dublin, across the region. To Adam Chester, to Adrian Harper, Tom Stanton, thanks a million for joining us on the Slip Cordon. Moss, great to be talking cricket again, I'm sure.
Yeah, thanks for having us, Peter. Yeah, it's been a long way to get the season going, but thankfully, we look to be almost there.
It's been a long wait. We're all dying to get going again. Is the excitement building amongst the lads? You had a game between the squad at the weekend?
Yeah, definitely. I think everybody's just looking forward to getting back out. Just say we had the game yesterday. It was a good success, and even the buzz around the ground yesterday, just for an inter-club game, it was great to be back and to be involved. Obviously, we've been training now for a couple of weeks, and the lads are pretty keen to get back into a bit of competitive action, even if it is a shortened season. So definitely looking forward to it. Yeah.
We're playing the Leinster Senior League Cup. Technically, the holders of this competition. You're looking to hold on to the title once again this season?
Definitely. Every piece of silverware is always one worth having. So, as you say, we're holders. It's still a senior cup. It's what every senior team in Leinster is going to be looking for this year. So we're no different to them. We want to retain our cup and make sure it's still sitting behind the bar when the bar eventually does get back open. So no, all preparations are going to be going into it, and we're going to treat it like any other year.
No pros this year really across the league, obviously with the shortened season. How's the squad looking? Who anyone to look out for as we go into the start of the season?
Yeah, I mean, like the way I look at it personally, and even carrying it in from last year, was I always tried to get the young guys involved, and I just see it as a great opportunity to continue that this year. As you say, there's no pro, there's nobody coming in from overseas whatsoever, so there's an extra place or two there in the squad, and it's a chance for guys to put their hands up and say, when we do hopefully get back to a full season next year, I'm here, I'm ready. I showed you last year, even if it isn't a T20 competition, that I can face the best or I can bowl to the best, whatever it might be. So that's definitely something we want to look for in the next 7 or 8 games, whatever it might be. In terms of new players that are coming in, yeah, there's definitely a few new younger faces that you would have only seen in seconds for us so far. But I'm definitely excited to see them come in and hopefully make an impact in the games that we have.
Of course, we have those young players coming through. There is the old wise head of the hero of the final last year. Is Naz still knocking about, looking to pull a few this year?
Unfortunately, Naz is probably going to take a sabbatical. I think he's going to recharge his batteries for next year. He had got a surgery on his shoulder, I think, in the off season. So I think at his age, it's probably forgivable that he can miss out on a few T20s. So yeah, no, he's still around. He's still well involved in the club. But yeah, as I say, he sort of took a step back and said, give the younger guys an opportunity for the season that's in it. And yeah, well, we'll pick it back up next year. I'm sure he'll be fighting fit next year to be steaming in. Looking back maybe 2 months ago, we were saying, are we even going to play cricket? So we just have to be grateful for what we have and get out there and use the opportunities that we get. We get a decent bit of weather going. We get a few good games. The competitive juices will be flowing. So it's going to be the same as any other season. And, at the end of the day, we're still going to be fairly social as a club and as a squad. And, that's ultimately what a lot of us play for. So, yeah, looking forward to that. And it'd be nice to, as you say, see those silver linings.
Still going to be guaranteed that great welcome when we go up to the Vineyard. That's not changing, I'm sure.
Yeah, well, we hope to emulate what we have in the last few years. Obviously, the teas are cut back. There won't be any famous scones knocking about, unfortunately, but which is, the big drawback for me personally, I think, this year. But no, of course, as I said, even from the inter-club game yesterday, there was a bit of a buzz around the club. And, it's still a great place to play cricket, and it definitely will be for the remainder of the season this year. So, yeah, definitely hoping to see plenty of familiar faces up there.
We're looking forward to getting going. We can't wait. It's only a few days to go now. Get everyone back padded up and ready to roll. Tomas, thanks a million for joining us. Really appreciate it.
Pleasure. Thanks for having me, Peter.